Smells good. The smell, as I'm sure as everybody can tell now that we open that up, is unbelievably bad. Like I said, I think that is the most unique foul smell that I experience in my whole shop. It's one of those smells you can taste. Like if you like breathe through your mouth, not your nose, you're like, yeah. Ugh. My name is John Hayes. We're in Libby, Montana, and this is my art studio. This is Hayes Taxidermy Studio. My family's been here. They came in the late 1890s, worked on the steamboats in the river, homesteaded probably about 10 miles from here. So a lot of family history here. It is a beautiful place. We have lots of water. There's the Kootenai River, the Fisher River, the Yak River, all are right in our town. Lots of fly fishing, a lot of backcountry camping, backcountry fishing, backcountry hunting. So it's easy to get to some solitude and some privacy here. I've been a full-time taxidermist for about 20 years straight now. Obviously, it's kind of a niche occupation, I would say. Let's take a look at Cal's bear. So this is Ryan Callahan's brown bear, and it was taken care of in the field to see if they fleshed it well enough that the salt that they had preserved the hide well enough to not have any slippage. The lips look good. So what we'll probably do is go through and score some of the fat off of these little spots and then give it a second resalting. I think it's gonna be fine. That's good. Good looking bear. When I first got exposed to it, I was 8 years old. Like, we had it in our house, but I actually got to go to the taxidermy shop with my dad and pick up a mount. And for me, that was like an instant hook. I'd start looking at like dioramas in museums and stuff. And I was like, wow, being able to make all the habitats and these exotic animals that live far, far away from Libby, Montana. You know, it's like, it's the only chance I'll probably ever have to see a lot of these animals. So that was my drive to get into it, was just purely art-based.
Yes, hold the train, yeah.
Oh, FedEx is coming, bringing shit on a train these days, no. I can't be all laughing and shit though when I start, right?
Absolutely can. We'll take it.
That first take, how bad was it? Just should I say hi? Or like, hi, howdy. Sorry, hang on. This is my shop. This is where I spend most of my free time and all of my work time. Why don't you guys come on in with me? So this is the original part of the studio. This portion right here was the whole studio when I first started. We did everything in this room right here. Now, after having almost 16 years in here, we've been able to remodel, we've added on, changed the rooms. We have much better function now. This is pretty much my workbench and my workspace. The other guys work out in the other rooms. Now I've got it to where I can put all those mounts up on the wall by myself now. We can stick everything on a plate, then mount it on here, then slide it up and then tighten it in place, and then you can move them back and forth, so it's a lot safer. It utilizes the height in here. I am a fanatic about clean. I don't like it when it stinks. I don't like having blood in here. It's gross enough as it is, but I've been in a few shops where like you wouldn't want to touch anything. So I always keep it very clean. But I always had my child in here too. Like my daughter would come in here when she was 3 years old and sit, pull out a chair and she'd sit right here and color while I was skinning something. So always try to keep it as clean as possible. Now it's just carried over to where now I'm like a little OCD on how clean stuff is. It goes to this phase in here, like these are not done. So from this phase, we take them into the spray booth where we can do all of our paint work and epoxy work. So this is where we do all of our finish work. Once we get them into here, this is where we have everything set up for painting. And basically when we're painting, we're just painting like our nose pad, inner nostril, the lip, and around the eyes, and a little bit in the ears. But that's about all the paint work that we have to do in here. And then on the deer, We can use compressed air to blow them out as we're doing our grooming. We can also use the big blow dryers to blow them out if they need that. And then we also use a steamer to make sure we can get all the hair flat back on the hide so there's no wrinkles in anything, no rumples in the hair. And that's what we end up having to do in this room. And once we get done with this phase, then it's ready to go home with the customer. Having this set up really changed our quality and it changed our speed a lot. It's actually one of my favorite rooms we have in the shop. Once we get everything done in here and it's ready to go, we would come out these doors. This is where we do a lot of the green work, and this is an antelope that was harvested in Wyoming. We're doing a shoulder mount, and on anything horned versus antlered, you have to take horns off of the skulls before you can mount them. If you don't and let it dry on there, then there's still a lot of tissue in there, so there's a lot of proteins in there. You'll have this mount and there's always that like decomposing smell in your house, and people have brought them out and they're like, I don't know why my antelope mount stinks. And you're like, well, the horns have never come off. So this is called sweating. So you wrap them in these bags and you will leave it in there until it gets to a point where you just give a twist and they slide off. This room gives us enough space to do big layout pieces in here, big artificial rock scenes. We have two tables. We have one upstairs that we can do smaller stuff on, like if we're doing, like you do a coyote rug or fox rug, you know, smaller animals, or a small bear rug. One of the most unique parts about this table, like our original table was about this tall. And so when you're stretching, like, I think we have our stretching stuff in here. So you'd stick a nail in and then you pull as hard as you possibly can and then hold it against the table and then hit it and set it. And then you do that every 3/8 of an inch all the way around the entire animal. And sometimes when you're pulling, the pliers will rip off. So when I built the table, I made it tall enough that I could hide certain things below the table, because there was many times you were pulling and you just, bam, hit yourself with those pliers. So better than the old table. Vincent wants to show us what we were just talking about. Where we got the antelope in from Wyoming and we said we wrap it in plastic and then we'll sweat it and the horns come off. Vincent's got one that we put in there about 4 days ago, 5 days ago. Smells good. And so now that thing will go into a pot of boiling water with some sodium bicarbonate in it to help pull the oils out and kill the smell. And then we'll ladle water, boiling water, into the horn, because you don't want to boil the horn. So we're gentle with those, but you still got to get it sterilized, because the smell, as I'm sure as everybody can tell now that we open that up, is unbelievably bad. Like I said, I think that is the most unique foul smell that I experience in my whole shop. Like, I can take maggots and bloated and all that stuff, but the inside of a horn, ugh. Once we bring stuff in, get it off carcass, and then we would come into the green room, which also one of my favorite rooms. Everything comes into this room at some point. If it shows up and it's not tanned, everything comes in here at some point to get into the process to get shipped out. And this is like ground zero for every piece that we have come out of here, is it ends up in here. This is the main beam that most of the guys use, and it's literally just get your hide flipped over it and then you can work the beam down. It's a flat surface. That's the most common one. Like that's what I started out on when I was a kid, was on a beam. And then I use a wheel a lot. This whole thing is a knife. It has a very small edge, a little lip on it. Instead of the beam, I sit down, then I have my chest on it, and then you have your guard set, and then you just run the hide across it. And you can take off like a 1/4 inch at a time if you want, but that's getting fairly risky. So salting is kind of like, that's the first most important thing we do after getting them skinned and fleshed. Back in the day, we salted everything just like right on the concrete, and it would be so juicy. Like, you'd pick them up and it would just be raining that serous, juicy, bloody, nasty fluid off of it. So this is an incline table. Get everything piled up in here, salt it, and then it runs down, hits this trough and drains into a bucket. Like in the morning, this will have like in a 5-gallon bucket, it'll probably have like that much juice that just pours off of it. When we built this, we were trying to get into that next level of habitats. So when we did that, we ended up having to actually get welders and saws and band saws and grinders so we could do all that stuff in-house. At this part of my career, my favorite projects to work on are not just life sizes, but where we're doing more like in action, more dynamic pieces. The materials we can use for habitats now, all the casted rock and stuff. Like when I first started, we were using like chicken wire, plaster, and burlap, and you just like wadded it up and dented it and, you know, made it look like granite. Everything was a granite boulder, like everything. Now they've got so many castings, and the molds get better, the spray guns get better. I could spend as long on the habitat now as I can on the mount. If you take your time, you can make it look so realistic that you can't even hardly tell. And like the little details that you can put into that stuff, it's just, it's very enjoyable for me, very fun. The racks, like we built these brackets and we can just take and just slide right in. This whole system is the drying racks, and the drying racks are for once we take the hide out of the salt, it's wet. So we want to get the wet hide onto these racks and get the heat going in here, and this heat in the fan is what actually dries these hides out. This morning it looked like this pink color all the way around, and now it's already turning white. So that ability to dry these hides out in the racks and get them processed quickly, that's revolutionized a lot for us. The last room in the shop is the upstairs, and the upstairs started out as a storage area, and we've kind of got it progressed into a storage/work area. That's where I do most of the pillow work up there. Originally, this was supposed to just be like more storage for us. So we put bins up. We have the biggest moose I've ever worked on in my life. Made #6 in the world Yukon moose. Beautiful caribou. This is like one of the nicest velvet caribou I've ever got to work on too, so that'll be a fun one. We got all sorts of sheep and tar and a bunch of African stuff. That's one guy's impalas. He's like, I love hunting impala. I'm like, I can tell you do, man. That's awesome. The reason that I put a trap door in here was our shipping boxes. They come banded on a pallet, and we try not to break them down. We keep them in like packs of 10. So we just have this big trap door. And so I can bring the boxes up through here, or if I'm up here working and Vince needs felt, boom, drop it down the hole. So it saves me walking up and down the stairs. I work here doing a lot of my pillow work, and I can look out over the river. It's a nice view, especially this time of year. It's really pretty. I have other responsibilities now in the business that I always have to follow through and meet with people and do stuff. But ultimately, I am still the happiest when I'm actually doing the work. That's still my favorite. This is one of the pillow mounts, and it's still squishy. It started out as kind of like a joke almost. A guy forced us basically to do one. It was a coyote, and we tried talking him out of it for a long time. We're like, it's not going to be what you think. It's going to look terrible, and it did look terrible. But then he did not come and pick it up. He stuck us with it. So somebody saw it and took it to one of the local car shows, put it in their hot rod. Some other people saw it, and we ended up selling like 4. And it gave us a chance to refine what we were doing to get them to where they're like this now. But like this Wolverine, this is totally new. Never done a Wolverine pillow before. So it's posable, you know, it's bendable. You can move them around. Like if you wanted to put them over the edge of a table or something, you can bend his feet so it looks like he's sitting over it, or you could make him stand up if you wanted. But random thing, like I never thought we'd be known for pillows. But it is what it is. So I think at that point too, it was like, well, if we're gonna be known for it, let's make them better. Well, let's head up to the house. I'm sure you'll be wondering what this is. This is juniper. We get this from eastern Montana, and this is what we put a lot of our mounts on, like a lot of cats, life-size cats. Or if we're doing sheep mounts, we'll have the weathered wood in between it. It's not actually firewood, even though it looks like it. When I do manage to get a little free time, shooting is still, like, that's my one hobby. This is one of my absolute favorite parts of any of my buildings, and this is my reloading room. This is where I spend a lot of time when I have time. Long before anybody knew me as a taxidermist locally, everybody knew that my favorite thing in the world to do was go shooting. Like target shooting, trap shooting. If I wasn't working, I was out shooting for the most part. So this is my elk hunting rifle. I've had this one for this, I think is my 20th season of elk hunting with this. It's a 338 Remington Ultra Mag. Excellent performance, good at close to medium distances. Been very, very good gun. Best elk hunting rifle, most successful elk hunting rifle I've ever had. 6.5 284 Norma. I think that's what I took when I was scouting with Steve last year, as a matter of fact. This is like my oldest 223 I've had. Had this one for 20 some years now. And then big game hunting, my wife's rifle, and this is my daughter's deer and elk hunting rifle. My daughter's deer rifle, it's my daughter's 223. She loves to hunt. Gopher hunting, and coyote hunting, and elk hunting. I'd take her when she was just tiny, and I'd take her trapping, all that stuff. I wouldn't say I'm like a gun guy. I got a couple friends that are like gun guys, you know, like one of them's got a vault. I'm more like, I like accurate, obscure. And I'm not a collector. I don't have like a bunch of rare, valuable guns. Like, and if I did, I would shoot it because I'd want to see if it was accurate. So I'd be like the worst guy to get. Like this little 22 pistol. This was a new in box, never fired, like 1963 Smith & Wesson Model 41. And the first thing I did was I shot it. And they were like, dude, it's a collector's item. And I was like, it's actually really accurate though. So I shoot it. I loved handgun shooting. That was another one of the things that I really got into early on. Was like, I remember I had wanted this 22 revolver. I'd saved, like mowing lawns as a kid. So I was like saving up, mowing lawns. And I finally get it. And I was like, I just wanted to see how it shot. So I shot 500 rounds through it every day after school for the first 2 weeks just to get a feel for it. I still have it. One of my oldest handguns I have. It's actually right here. I got that in, what year would that have been? 1992. If I had $1 for every shot I fired out of this thing, we get that addition done real quick. I know that. Pay the house off. Like I used to almost sleep with the thing when I was a kid. When I'm actually in the moment of doing it, like nothing else is there. There's nothing. No matter what else I got going on, it's very, like it's an escape that I love. The art is what will make you or break you. So it's just like, focus on my artwork. Always improve, try to be better. You're either 100% in or you're really not in at all. One of my biggest fears would be that someday I'll do a piece and look at it and I'll be like, oh, that's perfect. And at that point, I'm not growing anymore. What drives me, I would say, is very well balanced between the art and what I give off to my client. The trophy classification on stuff, when I first started, it was strictly the numbers, right? Like now, some of the best trophies I think I work on, like we had a guy, he shot it's a very small mule deer. It's just like a big forked orange, this little mule deer. He brought it in here and he just wanted a European mount done on it. Well, then he ended up passing away very unexpectedly. And then the family knew I had the deer head and they asked me if I would do something special for it so they could have it on display at their home. That kind of stuff, that's a real trophy. That family, that's the last memory they have of their dad out on a hunt, you know. The kid's first deer, if you hunt with your dad at some point, there will be a last hunt, you know. So like, that's a trophy to me now. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've been dying to do this moose, but it doesn't make it more of a trophy than a smaller moose that has a lot of meaning to the owners. Like, it's your personal trophy. It doesn't have to be a contest all the time. Most everything we hunt, it was what we eat. Never shot a trophy, like trophy elk in my life, but very thankful, and I usually get to do that with my wife and daughter. And that's what a lot of our hunting memories are, they're little hunts, little snippets, but it's really just the trophy is we spent time together.